Okay, okay,
Well,
okay.
I don't know that we are, so I'm not getting the YouTube thing. Oh, maybe now it looks like it's working. Yeah, now this looks better. That's weird.
That is weird. Yep, we're on.
Hey. Wait, are we?
Yep.
Yes, we are.
Look right at us.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hashtag Coffee on the So Local Live Network. No, wait, on the YouTube Hashtag Coffee page. What's going on, Corey? I don't know where we are or what we're doing.
I don't fucking know. We're
right.
somewhere doing something.
I'm gonna post this back to Facebook for just a minute.
Morning, Warren. Yeah, I should probably share this myself.
Hey, while Warren is here, I want to thank him for all the awesome little chat messages he sends me with funny memes and graphics and stuff like that. I appreciate you taking the time to keep me in the loop. Thanks, Warren. Appreciate it. Okay, there's that, and we want to do on the So Local Live page. Hello? Why is this giving me a hard time? You could vamp while I'm doing this.
Yeah, I could. I'm actually trying to share myself. Vamping. I want to go back to talk about SpaceX, even though we already talked about it. Oh, I do want to tell you.
Yes.
What's his pickle, the everyday astronaut guy? Made a 72 or 73 minute long video all about whether NASA should use SpaceX or the Boeing whatever launch alliance fucking weirdos.
SLA, right?
Yeah, to go to the moon. And I get that you're just gonna like steal that argument out from underneath me when the day comes. So I'm just like, but it should still be a very, very interesting thing.
Well,
yeah, he said
I
it's
mean,
by far the longest, most detailed post he's ever done.
Nice.
And he also like deconstructed the entire Raptor engine for 45 minutes once. So, like,
nice. I'd love a link to that if you want to.
yeah, I don't know if he said it was coming very, very soon, so I'm not 100% sure that he did or didn't, but I'll check it out.
Sweet.
I will find
Yeah,
out.
I mean, Grumman didn't go to the moon, but they did. Boeing didn't go to the moon, but they did. Right? North American didn't go to the moon, but they did. Right? As individual companies, they didn't. They did it as a huge combined effort via NASA.
So like it's seriously like
that gets us there.
SpaceX has to fly a BFR to the moon by itself for fun, and then land on it, and like literally get on camera and give everyone 2 middle fingers, and then I win.
Yes, that's
okay.
That's essentially the bet you made.
All right.
That's how I understood the bet.
Okay.
Like going there independently, like. Yeah, I mean, they bought the launch pad at Cape Canaveral where they're doing their launches and testing from, right?
Yeah.
So that's theirs, or at least they leased it for 20 years or whatever they did.
Yeah.
They're operating sort of separate from Mission Control when they run their independent missions. They have their own mission control, which looks way cooler than the old actual NASA mission control.
It does indeed.
They have their own broadcast facilities to inform the public about what's going on. So to me, that's what an independent effort to go to the moon would look like. But being a contractor for NASA, that's not a bad thing. Holy shit, they're a brand new company. Grumman had been making aircraft since before World War II. And
if I lose, it's not going to be 100%.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
I'll still be excited about it. And besides which, this fight has been more than entertaining to have made the bet worthwhile.
Oh God, Ginny, you believe we went to the moon? Don't you know the Nazis helped us and set up the green screen room? Just joking. Yeah, you believe in the moon?
Yeah, I can't handle conspiracy theories today. I'll literally, even as a joke, I might just start crying.
Yeah. Well, let's we're flying the Blue Angels over major cities, so everybody goes outside and looks up to get their chemtrail dose of COVID-19. So that's why that's happening.
Yep. Hey, if anyone has any Tiger King memes that they want to make. I think we're going to give away another $125 for the Bitcoin today, or even any memes.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because it hasn't been super busy over at the Meme Wars thing for the Tiger King memes. Like I made a couple, but I it's not really in my head. It's more like Kurt really wanted to do Tiger King. It's like, all right, well, all right. It is kind of a moment that we were having at one point. But yeah, we're gonna do some voting later on today and pick some winners. Had another great conversation with them about. No, I had another great conversation with Kurt about getting a token back up and running. We're sort of finally moving back to that stage. Yeah, it needs to happen.
I have a hard time understanding the level of misogyny required to watch that show and think that Carol Baskin is the bad guy.
Okay.
I mean, a dude threatens to kill her on camera 27,000 fucking times. She's the problem?
Yeah, no, it's a joke, dude.
No, first of all, I'm disgusted with reality TV like stuff. I don't care for it at all.
No, that's
the amount of venom that I'm watching posted about Carol Baskin on Facebook in meme form is
I take that as intensely ironic, because honestly, like the meth addicted fucking tiger killer guy who's in jail for trying to kill someone, you know, I mean that could be my own ignorance though, because I guess I don't see how. Well, I clearly don't see, generally speaking, how stupid Americans are. So it's possible.
They managed to make a villain out of Hillary Clinton, a woman who has dedicated a great portion of her life to public service and was the single most qualified presidential candidate in American history. So I guess it shouldn't surprise me, but it continues to disappoint.
Yeah, that's yep.
Yeah. Holly Brown, I can remember my uncle who worked for Grumman jumping up and down during the moon landing saying, "I built those feet." That is the fucking coolest story I have heard all day. I know it's early, but I doubt anything's going to top that today.
I built those feet. That's awesome.
One of my favorite things about listening to the astronauts as they made their way around on the moon, you know, one of the first things you do when you're a pilot and you finish a flight is you get out and you examine your aircraft. And that's exactly what Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin did, is they walked around and inspected the lander to see what was up with it. And one of the things that they noted was that because they were moving laterally when they hit, the probes that were under those feet that were designed to stick into the moon surface, kind of measure the density and depth of the dust, actually bent out from under the lander feet. So on the moon, they're having a conversation about how to engineer them better for next time. You know, like that's the most test pilot shit there ever was. Is Buzz and Neil having a casual conversation about design implementation for the next lander, which was already, by the way, being shipped to the Cape at that point.
Right.
Yeah, they hadn't built the fourth one when they launched the first one. That's how fast those things were coming off the line. And it's pretty remarkable.
This is like, we're at serial number 4 and it passed the cryo test, right? And even Elon Musk said it was kind of a rinky-dink test. Like they tested it up to a little past the level they were going to need for the hop. And the reason is like the pressure plate that had to get redesigned so many times. There's like 3 different layers to it. That's the thing they've been redesigning the most. It was like apparently the fail point or whatever.
Right.
They're moving to a totally different alloy already for the next one. That's going to be like 2 or 3 times stronger or whatever. And even that's going through design iterations. They're just like, you know, we know this one's going to work, whatever. But they're like they're iterating so fast, which was always the idea, right? Like even that, like the Falcon 9s are still iterating as they're coming off the line, like, you know, one a week almost. So
it makes the things that got done to get us to the moon the first time even more incredible. Not just to the moon, like the SR-71, that, you know, there was no way to simulate how that aircraft was going to behave.
Yeah.
You had to build it and test it. And they did that in less than 180 days from design concept to flying prototype. And it was the record holding aircraft for speed and altitude for 40 years after they designed it.
Yeah. I mean, you should get points for that for sure.
Holy shit. That's Kelly Johnson, who was the head of the Lockheed Skunk Works that did that, the F-104, the P-38 Lightning. Like, there's a whole string of amazing aircraft that Kelly Johnson was directly involved in. It was a team of 30 people that did all the math to make that happen. And the same thing for the moon. Like, you know, your phone has far more computing power than our lunar excursion spacecraft did.
Like
Far
way
more. Like it's like magnitudes more.
Wasn't it 1200K?
It's ridiculously small. Yes.
Yeah, like I think it's like 100 or 1,000 times more. No, way more, like 1,000,000 times more. Oh my god, it's fucking ridiculous.
I haven't looked in a while, but the last number that I remember was the space shuttle program had 4 redundant computer systems, and your 286 IBM laptop or your 286 IBM desktop had more computing power than all 4 of those put together. So even as late as the space shuttle era, you know, computing power was thin on the ground compared to what you and I have access to on an ongoing basis. So that's pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable. Ginny says chemtrails, condensation. Who can tell the difference?
I literally had somebody say, "Man, does anyone notice how much fewer chemtrails there are right now?" And I'm like,
oh my god.
Like I don't even say goodbye to people anymore. I'm like, you're blocked. So somebody got some weird cherry picked data from California, and basically said that like it's way less deadly than the flu. And I'm like, you're gone from my life forever.
Yeah, and the 2 doctors that put up that video that everybody's reposting, despite the fact that, you know, medical bodies of certified medical people that do this kind of data research have consistently shit canned everything those 2 doctors said. I'm still seeing people repost that, and I'm just kind of throwing up my hands like, oh, all right, I guess this is where we live now. I guess leeches are going to make a comeback. And
I just like the thing that's driving me the most nuts is like, you look at all the places where they got this thing under control. Like Taiwan, for example, had and now granted they acted early, but you know, like to leave your house, you had to have an app on your phone that did automatic contact tracing.
Right.
When you weren't sick, right? Automatic testing, flu or fever things inside buildings. Like they basically took every possible idea and just made that happen. So if somebody got sick, they had a record of every single person that got within 6 feet of that person, and they all got called and said, "Hey, you got to come in for a test." Right? We're not going to do anything like that, right? And we're going to open up right now when, and again, I know we've talked about this, but like the number of, like, you look at where New York was a month ago, right? A few hundred cases, maybe 1,000. We've got like 50 of those, exactly as I predicted. We've got 50 of those all over the country. Right. And with the semi lockdowns, it's probably going to take the R naught from like 3 to 5 down to 2. So are we going to see like a 2 to 3 week ramp up where it's going to go completely, totally nuclear and everyone's going to fucking freak out? No. But 8 weeks from now, there's going to be 20 million cases and 500,000 people dead.
Right.
Right. And it's because everyone's fucking so happy-go-lucky about it. And it's and people are getting, stir crazy or whatever. Even Michelle, who is the fucking card-carrying genius of my life. It's like, you think the lockdown is going to last any more than a month? I'm like, it's going to be 6 or more.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like, I don't think it will be.
That's the thing. Like that's exactly it. Like, and they're starting to try and reopen some parks and do some different things or whatever. But yeah, it's all going to come back.
Yeah.
And again, there's ways we could open, doing massive testing and doing, GM actually, Rachel Maddow was talking about this. GM is opening some plants up, but they've redesigned their entire floors, right? They've got one-way pass. They're trying to do all the things that the CDC has suggested they do, but they also have watches that vibrate every time you get six feet away from somebody.
Nice.
Right? Everybody has masks. They do fever checks on the way in. All the breaks are separated. Like, everything that they could do as a company, which, is awesome, but that needs to be nationwide or it's just going to be pointless.
Right. Yeah, I saw an article this morning, and I don't have a link to it. I'm sorry, that Disney's plan to reopen has a pretty good system for fever checking employees and making sure that anybody that has a fever goes home. It does nothing to fever check guests.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
It's got to be everybody who walks in a building. That's the thing.
I'm a Disney fan, right? I'm a person that likes Disney, and I'm like, so come to Florida, and if you're not already infected, we'll help you with that. That's essentially what they're saying.
And then take it back to your town.
Not cool. Not cool. Ginny, I love this comment. God, I remember in 96, 97, gig hard drives came out, and I was told that I would never need another hard drive. One game I downloaded last night was 120 gigs. Yeah, my first computer for a home studio was a 2 gig hard drive, and the guy thought I was nuts to order a hard drive that big. And that was about 6 months before Napster came out. Yeah, so I filled that hard drive up very, very quickly. Yeah.
Apparently, Pence wasn't wearing a mask at a hospital because he wanted to look people in the eye. I think he may be confused about masks. Did he hear
Jesus
so right?
fucking Christ. He wanted to look people in the eye.
Yeah. So this,
Yeah.
part of me doesn't even want to
Okay.
get into the whole Biden's healthcare plan argument we were having off the show before the
Yeah.
show coming on. It's like how you could actually read that. Like if there was a 1% chance of getting that in 2008, everyone would have been losing their minds happy.
Right.
And even, you know, with Bernie's plan, was never going to pass. Everyone likes to say Medicare for all polls at like 80%. The second that you add the fact that duplicative care is would be made illegal, it drops to at best 40, and usually lower than that. And it would never pass. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like I'm explicitly for it. It would never pass. Biden's plan is fucking awesome.
But we're shilling for Joe Biden now. That's what.
Fucking fine. Everyone not shilling for Biden is shilling for Trump.
Fucking you know, when idiots. I said I'm just like, tired of arguing with my fellow progressives about this, Lolina said
it's so fucking stupid.
It must be exhausting defending Biden. That's not what I'm defending. I'm defending you from another fucking Donald J. Trump term. That's what I'm defending. Hey, here's the quote. And since I don't have the coronavirus, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to be here, be able to speak to these researchers, these incredible healthcare personnel, and look them in the eye and say thank you. Fuck you very much. I can't believe the Mayo Clinic let him in the building. I mean, I wish the head of surgery or someone had said, no, fuck you. Just like an airplane cockpit, I'm in command of this facility. You're not coming in without a mask on. But that's not where we live now because.
Yeah. Marita said, meanwhile, Florida is trying to manipulate the death toll. See article in TBT. Florida medical examiners were releasing coronavirus death rates and the state made them stop. Well, I hear if you don't report them, then you could just tell everyone that it's just as bad as the flu. That's totally fine.
Yep. Here's the link to that article. And I want to, there's another reminder that's worth making in this. Oh, God damn it. Link's too long again. And I always forget Ginny's trick for short links. Anyway,
tiny URL.
It's in the Tampa Bay Times. Tiny URL. Yeah. Let's see. Can I do that while we're talking? There's two things about this story that I think are important to remember. One, that we would not know that was happening if it were not for journalists at newspapers like the Miami Herald and the Tampa Bay Times. Journalists, the media, is how we are learning about this thing happening. Not the president, not the governor, not our state legislators. The fucking media is why we know that that's a thing that's happening. And the second thing is that what that means then is that the state of Florida is considering reopening without considering all of the data that they are collecting. They are hiding data from you. They are hiding data from me. And they would have been happy to continue to do so if it weren't for journalists making Freedom of Information Act requests to get those email strings out in the open. That's how we learned. What was the last thing it was the list of nursing homes that have outbreaks. They weren't releasing that information. And the Miami Herald and the Tampa Bay Times basically took them to court to get permission to publish those lists or to make them publish those lists. We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to do that. We have journalists in our lives that are risking their lives to bring you these stories. Our friend Daylina Miller is a health news reporting journalist for WUSF, and she's out there with a mask and a camera and a microphone getting you these stories. She's exposing herself to danger, literally, along with hundreds of other newspaper journalists and radio and TV journalists to get you these stories. And if you don't like that, that's your problem. They're doing they are the only industry protected in the Constitution. Get that through your heads, dummies. That's what's happening. That's how we're learning things. That's how we've always learned things that are unsettling and uncomfortable for us. It wasn't the government that told us about what was going on with the Red Scare. It was journalists like Edward R. Murrow. Come on, man. Let's get our shit together here. Yeah, how can we restore faith in the media? I don't have a good answer. I wish I had a better answer than critical thinking. Like, I don't think people understand what's involved when a story makes print. Like, I don't think they understand the levels of lawyering and editing and back checking that actually happens to make a story appear in your local. It's not like somebody just writes a story and hands it off to their editor and it goes in print the next day. They have to back check their sources. They have to have their sources rechecked by others. It's a scientific process designed to make sure that false information doesn't make it into the newspaper. Does it fail sometimes? Yeah, it absolutely does. And when it does, responsible journalistic outfits go back the next day and make a correction. That's how that's supposed to work. And that's how it does work the vast majority of the time. If you're an accredited news agency, that's how it works. If you're Fox News, you get a pass because you're entertainment, not news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deb Rivera has an interesting question. How do you feel about Justin Amash for president?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, like I thought about this
Good
initially,
luck,
and I'm like,
I mean,
well, no, I think more
way to be
conceptually.
brave and
not-
start running at the beginning of the election cycle.
No.
Asshole.
He's not going to win, but like, and honestly, he was just a congressman a year ago, and had the audacity to tell the truth as a Republican, and so they kicked him out, which is funny. I think like I would say he's probably my favorite Republican for president, but would still be behind the vast majority of any Democrats.
Oh yeah.
Fun,
Hey,
huh?
Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Zoe Michelle Flood reminds us that, and Daylina is doing everything I just talked about with one kidney. She donated a kidney 2 years ago.
Of course she did.
Her risk level is so much higher. It
really is.
Brave people.
Well, I mean, Deb, he would only be a Jill Stein for Trump.
Yeah.
Like that. If he wants to,
she typed that out as you were saying it. She typed out, "Will he be another Jill Stein?"
Yeah. Yeah. Jill.
Well, I
Jill
can't
Stein,
see Justin Amash pulling away anybody from Biden.
No, he won't. That's the thing. Like he will only pull away people from Trump.
Good.
Although, I mean, maybe there's some Bernie voters that want somewhere smart to go. Fucking. Yeah,
I'm just so discouraged today. Politically, I'm like, the people. How are you doing? You know what? I'm doing okay. Like Donna and I are homebodies. We have food. We have our rent paid. We have our electricity and our internet on. So not much has changed for us personally, but I'm just so discouraged by the bigger picture at this point. We can live like this for another year. This is how we've been living every day for the last year. So we're sure that we can do this for a year. When we need a hug, we have each other, but my mom is living in isolation. She doesn't, have any physical contact with anybody. And we're just making that worse by considering reopening too soon, but we're going to. Like, I'm not even arguing that we can't do this. We're going to do this. It's going to happen. That's
the thing. Like, I think we could be talking about reopening now if it was also including testing 10 to 20% of Americans every single week. And then we're not doing it like, hey, let's wear some masks and like blah blah blah. Like I just have a fucking really bad feeling.
Somebody that I've known since high school posted a picture yesterday of them out on Moon Lake in somebody's backyard on Moon Lake, and they had like a community haircut day where all the dudes came over and got haircuts in somebody's backyard, and I'm like, how is that? First of all, legal? Because none of you are cosmetologists who have, a license from the state to do that. But they were feeling really good about themselves. And I'm like, well, okay. Thanks. You need a haircut that fucking bad. That's what you need. That's the thing that you're risking your life and the lives of others for, a fucking haircut, a trip to Buffalo Wild Wings. Give me a fucking break. That's an insult to the people that are out there literally risking their lives to save other human beings. That's a terrible insult. Ugh. Man. Yeah, hope not. Do virtual visits with your loved ones who are isolated so far. We did a family Zoom chat on Saturday and had a great time. It was just like all being together in person in my loud Italian family. Everybody was talking at once. It was like no different than Christmas dinner.
Yeah, we tried to do a little surprise thing for Charlie Long.
Right.
And it was the same thing. There was like 10 screens up, and nobody had headphones on, so it was all doing the echo thing over and over and over again. And yeah, it was not good.
Yeah. We what we ended up doing. Well, Stephanie, my cousin Stephanie is she's a teacher, so she's been doing this with 20 to 30 students a day. 10, 12, 15 at a time. So she got us organized really fast. Everybody check in. Everybody else shut up and let Aunt Roseanne check in. Let Rita check in. Let Greg check in.
Right. Yeah. I think doing the whole muting thing is smart.
At least nobody took off their pants on our family Zoom chat. So that was good. If I had to guess, it would have been my cousin Tommy. That's who. He would have been the guy to stand up and take his pants off. But it was early in the day, so maybe he hadn't been drinking. That's good. I know there's a lot of great comments in here, and I'm sorry we're not getting to them faster. By the way, Casey Marion says regarding the Tara Reid hit job. Oh, she must still be typing. I haven't. Let's see. Donna says, I must say I've been feeling a little guilty about being so comfortable with many people while many people are isolating alone. That's the truth. It's a weird feeling that we feel pretty comfortable with this. We feel pretty comfortable with this kind of life. I don't know. Maybe that's why people in poverty and people who have trauma issues are faring better in the emotional moment than those who have never had to face those kind of things. Share some good news. Okay. You're not dead. There you go. That's your good news for the day. That's as good as it's going to get. Thank you for posting. Yeesh. Maria Richards, there are so many unknowns about this virus and other conditions it causes, like the possibility of strokes in young people. They're starting to think it messes with coagulation factors in the blood. That's fucking scary. Jimmy, my area of Pasco County has never really shut down. Freaking Hobby Lobby opened yesterday. Is that true?
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Motherfuckers. I thought they fired everybody and shut down forever. What happened to that? I thought that was where Hobby Lobby was.
That might have been a dream that you were having.
Yeah, Donna left. LMA agree. No one wants to see family members naked. That's true. I don't know. No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Seconded or thirded or however many numbers they got to do there.
Yep. Afraid I have no objection to staying home. Just provide us with the money to survive. Right. This is the best argument ever for UBI and for single payer healthcare, for that matter, because people aren't seeking medical attention when they are getting sick because they can't afford it. I mean,
10-4.
Yeah. I want to work from home forever. Like if we're going to stay in the counseling business, and I'm not really sure that mom is going to want to do that. I'm really happy to work from home forever. I'm good with that. It's no different than doing this. So.
Yep.
So yeah. Yep.
So you want to tell them about your big cheater fish?
That's boring code monkey stuff, and I'm not even a code monkey. I think Corey spent several hours yesterday trying to build a giant Darwin fish on our Minecraft server. I mean, like as high as the clouds, and
significantly the bottom part of the fish was higher than the clouds.
Yeah, and he had downloaded a plan schematic for how to put the blocks together that made sense if you were the only one working with it. And then we live streamed for 2 hours of us trying to work it out how to do it, and it was really not going well.
It's bad.
So I went away and I found a way to make it happen in 3 minutes or less using command. But I don't get to build it myself. And I'm like, well, okay. Where do you want your giant Darwin fish? Because we can make that happen. So we are going to have to take down all the other stuff because I'm not sure I have a way to put it in there without it intersecting with that. So
yeah, no, we can.
Good news, you'll have a lifetime supply of white concrete bricks to use to build other stuff.
This is true. This is true.
Oh my goodness.
What should we do? What should we do after the Darwin fish? Maybe should we just go straight to like mankind? And maybe do like the
I
thing
thought a
that
giant
was on
dinosaur might be cool.
The thing that was on, that's the thing I can't do. That the whole reason why that fish exists is because the whole dinosaur thing is not going to work.
No, I can probably find a good 3D plan for a dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then just magically make it appear.
No, I think we would have to build that, but you start with a plan that lays out level by level what you need to make the thing happen.
Yeah.
I think that's probably something that's doable.
All right.
So, yeah. Oh, I haven't put the new fish up yet, Donna. Donna's saying she meant to check out the new fish yesterday, but didn't get to it. There's a partial fish, but I have a plan to put. I didn't want to put the whole thing up until Corey was on the server and we could film it because
Yeah, we definitely should film the sort of like, hey, it wasn't there before and now it is. I think that'll be funny. That'd be good.
Yeah. Yep. Ginny, due to their corporate religion, I have not ever spent money there. Just reporting the news from my local FB group. Yeah. Hobby Lobby, as Casey Marion called it. Yeah. There's that. I have to admit that I did have a what would you call it? A dalliance with Hobby Lobby because they are the only place in my community that has slot cars, little HO scale slot cars. And when I was into the hobby, you could get cars there and nowhere else. So I used to have to sneak into Hobby Lobby, buy cars, and then I would rearrange letters, to say Trump sucks in the hobby letter department. But yeah, I did that for a bit. But I'm not doing slot cars anymore. So yeah. Deb Avera, our vice president of supply chain, was amazed how much more productive we've been working from home. Is considering allowing more teleworking that would relieve real estate.
They're gonna. I think they're gonna do that at the VA as well.
I got to tell you,
it just makes tons of sense.
One of the really, one of my doom and gloom economic indicators of what's going to happen to commercial real estate and office space in the next year or so. I think there's going to be a massive crash in those holding companies and shopping malls, which are also commercial real estate. They were doing badly enough before on any of this.
Yep.
Ginny, I need the name of that. Well, I'm not doing slot cars currently. All my stuff is in the closet. I don't have room to set up a layout, but I'd like to know what hobby shop in Palm Harbor has slot cars because there weren't any when I was doing that. It's a few years ago now. So yeah. So doom and gloom, despair and agony on me, deep, dark depression, excessive misery. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. That's a old song from Hee Haw. You're welcome.
Yep.
Hee Haw was worth watching just for the music, though. Roy Clark, come on, man.
Yeah. DRS Metal Yang was right. I mean that. Yep. Can confirm.
Donna says we're working from home till ownership feels comfortable. So fortunate to have intelligent employers.
Yeah. Amen to that.
And Donna works in the nursing home field. So not in the medical end, but in administrative and other duties.
That's what Baz was saying. Like, now, granted, like what she's doing, she can do offsite and is working on my computer right now, which is awesome. But yeah, the entire admin kind of thing, like none of them need to be there, right? Like they could be doing that offsite, 4 days a week even or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. Like the parking and sort of space on campus and that kind of thing. I would imagine that's probably true all over the place,
Yep. Yeah. And, my mom is a clinician and she was really dubious about how Zoom was going to work for assessments. Like ongoing contact with clients is one thing where you have a rapport and a relationship with them, but seeing someone for the first time on teleconference, she wasn't sure that was going to be workable. And, I've had a good experience with that. And so has she. So she's beginning to modify her idea now that, no, I have to meet with the client first time in person. Maybe not. So many people are used to communicating this way now, maybe not via Zoom, but via video chat and things like that. That it's a modification of how, like I'm sure there were people, I'm not talking to patients via telephone, I'll ride my horse and buggy out to their house like I always have. I'm sure there were clinicians back in the day that felt that way, that have modified over decades. So this is kind of the new reality. And I hope this part of it sticks. I hope the part that we can still be, I mean, I don't feel less emotionally connected to all of you because I don't see you in person. I never see any of you in person, with a very few exceptions of the people that are in the thread right now. Most of you are only people I know from the internet. And that doesn't mean I love you or care for you any less.
Yep.
House of Hobbies. Oh my gosh! You know what's funny is that they used to have a Newport Richie store, Ginny, and I spent much of my childhood in House of Hobbies. I know exactly where you mean now. Yep, yep. I didn't know that they'd moved. They were further down in Clearwater years ago. So that's interesting that they moved up to Palm Harbor. I'll have to go check them out. Yeah. And Bill, the guy that ran the Newport Richie House of Hobbies, like I said, I spent a lot of time there as a kid. I didn't go back in there for 20 years. I walk in one day and he's much older than he had been when I was going there before. And he's like, "Hey, Greg, how's your brother Chris? How's your mom and dad doing?" You know, like you remembered my entire family from like 20 years before. So
That's
that was
crazy.
always a charming, cool place to be. Yep, yep. And he knew where everything in that store was. Like you might not know where to find something, but he knew exactly where it was. So that was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Help Coffee. Give it a thumbs up. Thank you, Bubble V's. We would appreciate your like and your sharing of our video stream. And we, you know, we're not sure where we're going. We're not sure, you know, what the next 3 months of the show is going to look like. We think we're going to do some more Twitch stuff, but I would like us to be better organized when we hit the live button on the Twitch stream because
Yeah, we still don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like at
it's
all.
pretty messed up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
I agree.
won't spring that on you as a replacement for anything until we're more sure of how it's going to work. But we would really like to do some more Twitch stuff. It makes a lot of things easier from our end once we understand the tools a little better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, and I sort of like, I think every once in a while, especially like it's kind of added stressor of the news these days and stuff, like I just want to feel like what I'm doing and what we're doing has a point. Like it's actually going to produce a measurable result that we can be proud of. And you know, that conversations like I had today before coming on the show makes me feel like we're going backwards. Like there's got to be an infinite number of more, you know, just ways that we can improve things in the universe with whatever skill set we can bring to bear.
Bubbleviz is asking, how will we be notified if you stream on Twitch? There's a so local Greg is my name, and Corey's name is Corey, maybe?
It's Corey Streams, but yeah, once you subscribe, you get on the app. But I think we always post to Twitter and Facebook.
Right.
I'll throw my Twitter in there. But I think it actually does email and shit like that too. And again, these are things that we need to figure out, you know, that we don't really know yet.
Yep.
So we'll keep you posted. Because yeah, we definitely want to.
Is that a real thing? I watch classic Nintendo Entertainment System Tetris on Twitch.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't even played Tetris in 100 years.
Championships. Yeah, it's a brave new world, man. And that's really like hearing about that and seeing all that stuff. I think that's when Greg and I started thinking about the sort of the game interview crossover potential and that kind of thing.
Yeah, Fred Eater, the point of what you're doing is to allow people to hear intelligent ideas and to be able to access to discuss things in real time. That's why I titled the show today, Why Are We Doing This? Because we have days where we wake up and we get discouraged and we're not sure if we're doing any good at all. And doing good is, you know, sort of a subjective measure, but we feel like that's the question I ask myself most often. You know, are we doing any good? Are we doing enough good? And I'm clear forever that we'll never be able to do enough good, but we'll do as much good as we can day to day. And if this is a place for you to come and get a dose of sanity and Sasquatch information, I feel like that's worth doing. Yeah.
Yes.
Bubba Viz, you could give a message on YouTube that you're about to go live on Twitch. That's true. Yeah, we'll work out how we're going to do that. Yep. Yeah, Boxer Cat's talking about the meatpacking plant in Weld County, Colorado now has 1,669 cases. Well, not just the meatpacking plant, but the county it sits in. Like meatpacking plants are becoming a central, what's the word I'm looking for? Vector for COVID outbreaks. And I'm terrified by that. You know, using the Defense Production Act to keep them open. I don't like that idea, but I don't I don't see how you and I are going to be able to get meat from the store without it. I think that's a really terrifying thing to think about. And it's not just meat. Keep in mind that, go vegetarian. Okay. That all still has to come from farms through processing plants to your door as well. And we're going to find out that if we lean on those facilities more, they're going to become centers for COVID outbreaks. So I don't see an option. I don't see an option that we're likely to see happen, right? Keeping your employees safe by doing the things Corey was talking about with 6 foot distance sensors and daily temperature checks. Those are the things that would keep people safe, but that ship has sailed. And I don't think many companies are prepared to spend the money to implement those things.
I just have to take 1 second to tell everyone what a piece of garbage Dave Myers is.
What?
And so are you, by the way. I hate both of you a lot. You're both dickheads.
This is about puns, isn't it?
It is. This is about puns.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dave just said clearly the show needs more fruit and vegetable puns. I don't even know how this started this morning. Dave and Greg threw me in you know what it was? And it took me way too long to get it to. Like when I finally got it, I'm like, oh my God, I fucking need more coffee. It was like the apple and the just an apple and then a pear and then nothing.
Yeah, I'll open it. Hang on.
Dude, it took me way too long to get it. And like I saw it the second that Dave posted it in that
I knew
thread.
you did.
Yeah,
I always know. I know you see all the puns I post at you.
Yeah. But then you guys did like
just not to.
Was it 50 fucking vegetables?
It wasn't that many.
It felt like a million. Anyway, it was terrible.
All right, so this is what set Corey off on a rant this morning.
No, this was almost funny. Like I was like, oh, groan, that's terrible. That it was the onslaught, the avalanche of fucking ugly, stupid puns. Oh my God.
They weren't ugly or
Dave,
stupid.
I totally hate Dave Myers right now.
It's just let us entertain you, Corey.
Oh, shoot me.
Yeah. Orange, you glad I showed it to him though? Corey won't care at all for this pun. Yes. Let us be thankful you did. I remain hopeful this pun can't be beat. Yeah. I've been wondering where he is. Maybe he had to pee or run to the corner store. Yeah, maybe he ran to take a leak. I am sure he'll hate this. Yeah, I don't know what's tomato with him. This is good stuff.
Wave when you're done.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm totally done. Yeah. So I'm done. Sorry. He literally can't hear me.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, we were just, busy using our melons. So
there it is.
Yeah.
little parting shot. Golly.
It was very funny. I'm sorry you didn't see it that way.
It's terrible.
Yeah. I found it very appealing.
So
oh my goodness.
So the Dow's up 500 points. And
wow.
They're like, that's cool. Yeah. So but get this though. It's up on coronavirus news. How is that even remotely possible?
Well, I once bought a car. It was a 1973 Olds Cutlass Supreme.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad looking at the car and going, Greg, there's a lot wrong here. There's a tap in the valves. There's all this rust underneath, but it was a shiny, it was painted really cool green color with a white vinyl top. And it looks so good, Corey. I couldn't help but invest my life savings at age 18 in this beautiful looking car. So that's why the stock market is up today on coronavirus news, because they're buying into the idea that
didn't they show that remdesivir isn't really that good?
Yes.
So Gilead Sciences said its experimental coronavirus treatment, remdesivir, met the key goal of study hosted by the NIAID, National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. So this is a thing, like an experimental treatment that we've already also seen evidence isn't really doing that well. And like meeting a key goal of study means it probably didn't kill 1,000 mice or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that, we don't even know what that means. This is the thing that I'm seeing in the markets, and honestly, it's what Trump plays on, is that everyone is so desperate for any good news, and the markets, there's such an upside bias, right? If there's a rumor of good news, then I'm just going to leave all my money in and everything is going to be fine, or I'm going to buy back into the market because I fear missing out, yada yada yada. And like earnings reports are going to come out. GDP growth is going to get announced in the next couple of days. It's going to be negative for the first time in a long time, and we'll probably be approaching Great Depression numbers. Like this is, I almost feel like when we first started talking about this and everybody still thought I was crazy, I feel like that again.
Right.
And
Casey Marion wants to know, is there a moral to this story?
Casey, don't fucking start with these guys. Just don't do it.
Even your mom thinks it's hilarious that you get mad at puns. Even your mom knows you're wrong about
Casey's
this.
one of the last bastions of hyper-rational thought in the universe, okay? It's not you two. Please don't. Fucking. At least I don't know what that vegetable or fruit is.
A morel, a mushroom. Morel mushrooms. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I did not know that.
Yeah. I just don't know how much of the shiitake you can take. So, but I guess we're going to find out. Oh, goodness.
Yep.
Goodness gracious.
I tell you about a balance board.
No.
It's like a skateboard that doesn't bend.
With a ball in the middle?
Not a ball, a roller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think a ball, I would die very quickly.
Yeah.
But it's like a cork roller.
The funniest thing to me about balance boards is that's the kind of shit my parents used to tell me to stop doing, or I would break my arm when I was a kid. Get off of that thing.
Yeah.
If I took a board and put it on top of a cylindrical object, my parents would be like, "You're going to fall down and break your neck. Get off of that." So, yeah.
Yes,
But
Maria. Baby Yoda is not amused. Baby Yoda also hates puns.
I don't think that's true.
That might not be true.
I think
Baby Yoda might just process it as language.
Yoda was mischievous enough that I think he would love aggravating you with puns. Like, I think that's a true thing. Like, remember how he loved aggravating Luke when Luke came to visit him the first time?
I was just gonna say I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but now I totally am.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was mischievous.
Okay.
Puns are more fun if you're slightly stoned, and that may be the central problem with Corey getting puns.
that might be it. Like maybe if I liked that at all, or could handle it without turning into a total freaking idiot.
Is there a moral to the story? Nice job, Casey. There's a bunch of them, by the way, in the thread.
No, I'm Googling news because news is more fun.
No, it clearly isn't.
Well, for me it is. I would rather read pandemic stats.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're closing in on the 11 o'clock hour, and I'm gonna have to turn on the air conditioner. It's getting warm in here today.
Nice.
I'm glad you like it.
I mean, I do.
What's the news for today? COVID-19 is going to have a second groundswell of cases that's going to ramp up, and in October and November kill even more people than it's already killed. And Trump is a fucking moron, and our vice president doesn't think masks are important when he visits hospitals because he wants to look people in the eye. Apparently, again, failing to understand how masks work to prevent the spread of COVID-19. What else? Florida medical examiners have been ordered by the state of Florida not to share data on the number of people who have died in their county by cause, which they were doing, and that would indicate clearly a larger number of dead people than we have been told in the state of Florida, which is bad for reopening the beaches. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, Fred, I giggle more when I stone and I Google less. That's awesome. I think this is a good strategy for coping. Yeah. Oh man, Jareen says, I read your joke in your voice, Fred. That's cool. I don't know what Fred sounds like. I've never heard Fred's voice.
Fred's actually got we should have him on because he's got a podcast that's starting to pick up a little bit.
Nice.
He's a super nice guy. Yeah, we like talk about the Star Trek economy for hours and hours and hours.
Nice.
Indeed.
Bumblebee says he heard that the World Health Organization has said they have no evidence that you can get immune from coronavirus. That's true.
Okay, let me touch on that a little bit because I
Please.
saw that as well, and then I heard them provide a bit more of a nuanced version of it.
Okay.
So it once you've had it, it definitely confers some kind of capability to help fight the virus and like it's going to confer some benefit. What they don't know yet and don't have enough evidence of yet is that if they launched a program saying that, you know, if you've been tested positive, you could just automatically go out and never have to get tested again.
Right.
That they don't know. They also don't know if 6 months later you couldn't pick it up and become an unsymptomatic carrier. So there's just, yeah.
And we're now maybe looking at multiple strains of this virus. So it's entirely possible you could get one and still be susceptible to another one.
That's a possibility.
So that's not great news.
Yeah. So it's really like, we just have to basically a lot more work needs to be done. Doesn't mean that evidence won't show up. It just means that they don't have enough conclusive evidence right now, which to me is like, how could you not have enough evidence of that right now? Which means that there's some problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fucking awesome. That's like hearing a pun.
I would rather hear puns all day than consider the implications of that,
You're
especially
right. Okay,
with us
you're
moving
right.
towards reopening.
I could take a few thousand puns for the team if it meant we could save 1 million lives, 100,000 lives.
I will make it my goal. I will make it my goal.
Fuck! I had to fucking say it out loud.
Let me help you with that.
Sure you will.
All right.
You're such a helper.
So we're back on Friday. We're going to try to, I like that clarification. DRS Metal said maybe Tallahassee will turn blue. And Ginny said, for clarification, the county in which Tallahassee resides in is blue. Leon County is a blue county, actually. College towns tend to be bluer. So we're back on Friday. We're going to do a science show on Friday. We're going to try and dig up some science stories. And by the way, we would love it if you guys would message us science stories that you would like to see us cover on the show and talk about. Fill ourselves with wonder and awe at science stories and cool shit that's happening. I have a really good one this week about an archaeological find in England that's kind of stumped some people. That one I'm liking, and I want to talk about that one on Friday. Sort of not really anomalous objects, but objects from the Roman era that nobody knows what they're for. For most things that they find in Roman fortifications and sites, we kind of know what the object is because it was described in Roman literature, which still exists. But this is something nobody is quite sure what they're for, and I think it's a fascinating idea. So I got that one queued up for our Friday show, and whatever else there. Yeah, did you guys see the Trumpeter with his blown pupils? Yeah, he looked bad. He looked fucked up.
Really?
Yeah, he looked really fucked up.
Yeah, I can't watch him at all.
Yeah. So we'll come back Friday and we'll talk about things that inspire us. How about that?
I like it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I don't know what I'm doing today. I think I have to run an errand to the office. Yeah, I have to go to our office, which is, by the way, the whole building's empty. We're in the Kaiser University building in Newport Richey. So the school is closed. Weirdly, I was coming out of the office the other day carrying a printer because I had to take it over to set it up for the boss. And there was a Homeland Security vehicle cruised through the parking lot while I was there, like a law enforcement, police car with Homeland Security on the side of it. I had never, ever seen a Homeland Security vehicle before. So I found that fascinating.
Interesting.
But yeah, I got to do my group tonight with my people, my counseling people, and then I'm good to go for a couple of days. So I think I'm just going to chill. Maybe I'll bake a cake later. I might bake a chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting later.
Hey, Casey Marion, if you're still here, could you look at that? You are still here. Awesome. Could you look at that and tell me if I'm wrong?
What are we?
Just from a straight charting situation, the Dow is in a very weak ascending triangle, which in a downtrend means Foxville. Like an extremely weak uptrend. And it basically, if it breaks out of the triangle that it's in either direction, you could see a huge move. and I would say it's like 65 to 35 chance it goes to the south.
Oh, hey, you know what? While I'm thinking of it, I want to put my Robinhood link in here because I was gifted
Oh, yeah,
with
good idea.
another share of stock. Our friend, our friend Elizabeth Wood, that's Boxer Cat. For those of you that don't know, she actually signed up, and I got another
Nice.
share of Sirius XM radio stock.
Cool.
So
Yeah, the
I'll
best thing
do it
about
right
that
now.
is you can sign up for Robinhood for free, and you get a free stock, and so does the show. So, and Greg, we're using Greg's link because if you have 3 friends who sign up with you, you get obviously 3 stocks, but you get an extra one as well. So it's a cool little promotion that they have going on.
Yep, and I think if I get one more, I get 2 stocks. I think I'm one away from meeting some kind of threshold. So there's my Robinhood link. You can use my referral. That gets you a free stock, gets me a free stock. And then now I have a position in the market. I feel like such a...
Yep, there you go.
Oh, I have a message. What does my message say? Woohoo. Your 1 share of Siri. You receive... Oh, that we knew about that. Okay. Yeah, I can now trade my shares. So I could cash in for 10 whole bucks if I felt like it, but I won't do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
We good?
I think so.
All right. Greg is bougie for sure. I am a bougie motherfucker. That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I go out of my way to defend Joe Biden.
Yep.
Don't forget all your shipple, says Annie Franny. I don't know who Annie Franny is, but I have lots of shipple.
Yeah, and that is going to mean something. I wish I had better firm news on that, but I'm optimistic.
Everybody's got a lot going on right now, so
yeah.
All right, guys. I think that's where I want to call it a day, and I want to get busy making some chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. And Donna, of course, thinks that's the best idea I've had all day. So that's what we're going to do around here. We're going to make a chocolate espresso cake with peanut butter frosting. Yeah.
That sounds good.
All right. We love you guys. What, would you have something else?
No, I listened to Hayes this morning. De Blasio is the mayor of New York right now.
Yes.
He had a bit of a breakdown of what de Blasio was doing in the run up to the shutdown.
Yes.
And it was fucking terrible.
Really?
Three people in his administration had to threaten to quit for him to start the lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah. And on the day they were closing all the gyms, he told his driver to drive him over to the Y so he could work out one last time. Fucking dead tone deaf. And a bunch of quotes about no, it's gonna be fine. We just got to keep the city going. Everything's gonna be totally great.
I remember that being a blip. Yeah.
To go to your bar 2 days before they ended up locking things down. It was sort of shocking to
yeah.
See. Anyway, so Yang for mayor. The New York Times or New York Post, I think, just tweeted something about oh no, it's the New York Times.
Really?
Does Andrew Yang want to be New York's post-coronavirus mayor? He probably wouldn't turn it down.
Man, I think that would be a pretty amazing thing, actually.
It would. It'd be fun.
I'd rather see him in the federal cabinet, but whatever.
Me too. But
Commerce Secretary, maybe?
Platform is platform.
Yeah.
There was somebody, Katie Porter for Commerce Secretary. Or maybe head of the Treasury, some just that. Yeah, I had exactly that reaction. Just oh yeah,
she did
Mnuchin or Katie Porter.
Can I talk about unbearable cuteness for a minute? John Lovett from Pod Save America, Crooked Media, is doing a podcast now called Love It or Leave It, which is a comedy podcast. Every Friday night they would go to a comedy club in LA and have guests on. It was hilarious.
That's really good.
Well, he's doing the show from home now. And he is engaged to and living with Ronan Farrow. And they unbearably adorable, the two of them, when they're on together. They've been doing a thing where they've been doing quizzes with other celebrity couples, where the dating game thing, where you have to write down what your partner, or the newlywed game, your partner's favorite thing about, this, and you have to write it down. And they've been doing that with other couples. It is hilariously funny. Anyway, I only mentioned that because Katie Porter did an interview with John Lovett the other day and talked about the big thing she's worried about right now is it used to be that in the House it's a scrum and you're literally bumping into people from the other party every day and having conversations with them, and that's not happening right now. The only way she's talking to people from the House is on the airplane, on the way from California back to Washington to vote on things. And she finds that a disturbing trend, that they're not communicating. So they're not finding common ground, even the way they were a year ago, even though we know that was not always, greatly positive. It was better than what's happening now. So if you get a chance, Love It, Lovett, Love It or Leave It is a great podcast. And I highly recommend you listen to that. It'll make your week. It's funny stuff. He had John Hodgman on as a guest the other day, who's also hilariously funny. So that was good stuff. All right.
Oh, Jesus. Want to know what Jared Kushner had to say a few hours after we hit 1 million cases?
Not really.
Okay,
what?
We're on the other side of the medical aspect of this. The federal government rose to the challenge, and this is a great success story.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Only 100,000 dead.
And honestly, like, even Fred was like, if we got everything right now, we could keep it under 100,000 dead. I'm like, no, if we take everything Fred Krueger says is a good idea and everything I keep ranting about, do them all everywhere in the country right now, we still wouldn't stay under 100,000 dead.
Right.
So,
yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, for all the talk we're having about reopening the state of Florida, and I know we're sort of Florida centric because we both live here, but the deadliest day in Florida was yesterday. More deaths yesterday than any prior day in the entire COVID outbreak. And we're talking about reopening. And we're not just talking about it. We are going to reopen too soon with no underlying safety net.
The important thing to understand is because people are still paying attention to the stay-at-home orders and because people are genuinely and rightfully afraid, we're not going to see a massive uptick in 2 weeks. It's going to be a month.
Right.
Just the exponential nature of it is still going to be the same. It's just going to be slower.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let's say it all together, kids, says Maria. Collateral damage. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck me right in the face. So
no, but okay.
Okay, good call. Sorry. That does make sense. Okay.
All right. Well, we love you guys very much. Please take care of yourselves and your families and do your best to stay within the guidelines that are keeping you and your families and other people safe. We know it's tough. We know it's challenging. Not all of us want a haircut, but there's something we all want to go out and do. I want nothing more than to go to some local joint and watch my friends play live music. But I'm not willing to risk their lives to do that, or yours, or mine. So, we're all having to make compromises and sacrifices now, and let's just keep doing that. Let's be safe. Let's flatten the curve as much as we can, and it's okay to be outraged at people who aren't. You can be kind, you can be mean, whatever you got to do to get through your day, but let's do what we can in the little space that we can. All I can fix is what's in the chair with me right now. So I love you guys. Sasquatch is real. I have to end the show, don't I?
Okay.
All right. Love you guys.